Here at Indie Wrestling Q&A, interviewing Greg Excellent. How long have you been in the wrestling business?
I've been wrestling for a little over 9 years now. Been enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. Get to go goofy places and do goofy things, and 9 years.
So how did you think of your character?
You know what? Who I am as a character isn't too far off from who I am as a person. It's turned up a little bit. I get to do. I can't take my clothes off as much in public normally, but when you're in a wrestling show, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But about 2 years into wrestling, I was doing something. I was still Greg Excellent, but I wasn't. I don't know who I am today. So I kind of figured out that I needed to start having more fun and being something different. Everybody's a tough guy in wrestling. I just wanted to be something different.
So who were you trained by?
I was trained by a great man that I respect very dearly, is Mighty Quinn Nash. I did some training with Phil Stamper prior to, but the bulk and majority of my training was done with Quinn Nash in Hanover, Pennsylvania.
So outside of America, how is wrestling different in other countries?
I just got back from England and Germany, and crowds are phenomenal. Absolutely. I would say that the big difference is, and not to sound like I'm putting American crowds down, but they're very appreciative. They're appreciative of absolutely everything you do. If there's a mishap, or if there's a mess up or whatever, they don't jump on your case nearly as much. They just appreciate the art of what you're doing and the work you put into it. Like I said, the England crowd was absolutely at one point the whole time beating on the cages and having a good time. And in Germany too, they're right on the side of the ring in Germany, beating on the apron the whole time. So it's kind of cool.
So who has been some of your favorite talents you have worked with?
Oh man, that is a tough question. It's a good question. That's a good question. I work with some very talented individuals. I just watched Adam Cole wrestle. Adam Cole I've wrestled many times. Sami Callihan, a guy I know very well. Core, who's based out of PA. And he's very talented. Doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. Man. Mia Yim, she's in Japan now. She's a girl. My first foray into wrestling girls. That went well. So just off the top of my head, those four probably.
So, what has been like the most physical match you've ever competed in?
Physical match. I've somebody named Brownie. Brownie's a delicious treat. Apparently it's somebody's name here in Lansing, West Virginia. We're really digging the bottom of the barrel in the name bank. Most physical match, the TLC match I had with Mia Yim, I was legit knocked out for. I've never been knocked out in my life. The last 5.5 minutes of that match, I had absolutely no idea what happened until I watched the film. Took a very big physical toll. I did Tangled Web at CZW, which is just barbed wire craziness. That took a toll. But probably that TLC match with her.
So describe the many variations of the Greg Excellent entrance music.
Well, I don't know. It's just I came out to at GBW to I Will Survive just because of one. It's a disco cult phenomenon. And it meant like just that phrase, I will survive. I was coming off of a very dark period in my personal life. Nothing like I was on drugs or anything, because I don't do that stuff, but it was a very trying time in my personal life. So I just knew I had to have a kind of a change of who I was as a wrestler and kind of survive it all, no pun intended. Outside of that, Rick Astley, come on, Never Gonna Give You Up. That song was on VH1. I love the 90s. So I decided to start coming after that. I Forgot My Music one show, and somebody said we have... no, that's not true. I had forgotten my music, and the DJ was a dick. So he's like, well, you know what, you're coming out to Miley Cyrus. And I said, all right. I came out to Party in the USA show. There's 350 people on their feet. The whole match. Just from my entrance to the end. And I went over, and Miley Cyrus played, and I came back through, and there's the music guy, and I was like, oh, see, worked, didn't it, dick? I'm not usually like that, but I could be spiteful every once in a while. So yeah, that's about the extent of my entrance music.
So who would be your dream opponent?
Dream opponent. I've always wanted to work with Colt Cabana. Hopefully that'll happen here in the next couple months. I've always had a great deal of respect and wanted to work with Tracy Smothers, the wide-eyed Southern boy. He's wrestled a bear in real life twice. So what better person to wrestle him than me? Covered in hair, I'm like an educated bear. Probably the third on that list would be El Generico. That guy gets more sympathy from the wrestling crowd than anybody else, and I've never seen a bad El Generico match. So I thought we could probably go out there and have a lot of fun.
So outside of pro wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies?
Yeah, I really don't have hobbies.
Collecting Mountain Dew cans.
I do. I have collected a wide array of Mountain Dew bottles, cans, and whatnot from all. I had a couple fans in Germany bring me one from Switzerland. I had one from New Zealand somebody brought me. I had one from Japan someone brought me. Collect Mountain Dew cans. I watch TV in my very own spare time. I'm a real man. I'm a real human being. See, the fun part about this is, to pull back the curtain just a little bit, is I have to be a real human being to be able to do this on the weekend. I have a real job. I work the 9 to 5 and then the 5 to 10. I'm a 60-hour-a-week guy. I work a real job, and then on the weekends I get to come out here, and I get this is the easy part for me. Does that make sense? This part, coming through that curtain and wrestling in that what was a wrestling ring at one point, is the easy part. So those are my hobbies. Real life.
This doesn't relate to wrestling, but what is your favorite Mountain Dew flavor?
Original, regular. Not the. I will drink, but I'm not a big fan of the throwback. But just the regular, normal, everyday Mountain Dew. I've had since I think it was in my baby bottle when I was a child. And it's always been what I've enjoyed.
So describe the time when you were making the documentary Pro Wrestling. How did it feel to actually be on an actual movie?
I have the utmost respect for Kenny Johnson, who's not just the director of what I believe turned out to be an incredible documentary. If anybody sees this and wants to pick it up, please search out Pro Wrestler. But I consider Kenny a friend at this point, so I mean, it was. I like the premise that he came up with of looking at wrestling in positive light, looking at it just not as there's so many negative, nasty, angry wrestling documentaries. It was very nice to be a part of something that was, positive, showed that there's real life and real care and passion about something that a lot of people who don't take the time don't understand what we're doing, because it's a passion of pain. It's we're gluttons for punishment, and a lot of times there is no payoff. There is no light at the end of the tunnel, but we still do this. We still bang our heads into the concrete wall and figure out that it would be easier to go around it, but hell, I'll go through it.
So if they made a movie about Greg Exlin, what actor would play you? What would the title be?
Who would play me? Me. I should play me. Because no one else can captivate who I am.
Maybe Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis would be good. I think he's a little shorter than I.
Yeah, he's short.
Maybe.
I think he's like 3-4 inches shorter than
Yeah,
Brad Pitt, Denzel, Channing Tatum. All good options. All
Chris
good.
Farley, if he was still alive.
Chris Farley. I mean, I guess if you're going to say some guy along those lines, would be Kevin James. Kevin James is probably a guy that could probably physically pull it off.
Another guy that, if he was still alive, John Candy.
John Candy. Chris Farley was my idol growing up. Aside from my mom, Chris Farley, big part of my life. I was watching Tommy Boy SNL reruns. The title, Head Drops and Ham Sandwiches. It's just how I've lived life. You dropped on your head, eat a sandwich. How you get through things.
So if you had any advice for somebody pursuing a wrestling career, what would they be?
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left. Find an accredited school. Find someone that can teach you. Never stop learning. It's always the key. Shut up. You don't know anything. You don't. I promise you. Look into my eyes. You don't know anything. Find someone who's smart and has a good reputation and learn. And just never stop learning.